do what you're talking about doing.
That's different.
No, it's not.
That's very different.
No, it's
It
not.
is. It
You need to
is.
put this in here.
No, I'm not.
Oh. Hello out there. We just got back from Paradise. It was not a very good race for us. It was all Joey's fault.
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, I'm going to blame everything on you. Anyway, no, we just didn't have our stuff together one of them days. It happens. We enjoyed our company together, enjoyed being at the track. But kind of subject right now is hear these things about Reaper versus maxxis versus Reaper, this and that, and everybody's getting all bent out of shape. Why do we got to keep talking about it? A Reaper track's a Reaper track, maxxis track's a maxxis track. It don't matter if you like Reaper or if you like maxxis. If you're gonna go to that track, you're gonna race. You got to race what they're gonna run, and you're gonna run it. So why cause all the commotion? You know, we like Reapers for our personal opinions. Why do we like Reapers?
Mainly just like not having to mess with them during the week at all. The most we really do is just blow them up the day before the race. And also, like, price-wise, it's a lot cheaper to run Reapers. And also just the tracks around us, pretty much all run Reapers, so, yeah.
You know, just like, I know you probably heard it too, that, well, Mr. Henry, he's the devil. Mr. Henry's the devil. He's buying all these tracks up. Look, y'all, common sense. You run a track, maxxis comes in. They want you to run maxxis tires. A Reaper comes in. They want you to run Reaper tires. You're going to go with what the best deal for your track and for your majority of the people running there. You know, I'm not speaking up for Mr. Henry. You know, I like Mr. Henry. I enjoy talking with him. You know, but if we go to a maxxis track, we're not going to go there and complain about why y'all running maxxis, why don't y'all run Reaper? This is what we want. You know, this might tick a lot of people off, but half of y'all sound like a bunch of youngins because y'all ain't getting your way. Just be happy we got tracks to run at. We got good people. You got, you know, Kevin and Donnell. They're doing a hell of a job running Tri-County. You go to Mr. Henry's facilities, you know, down there at Paradise. You can't tell me that ain't one of the best facilities around. Not knocking any other ones. But where you going to have asphalt running majority of the way of the track, shelter parking with water and power? You know, let's get back to why we started racing. Why did you start racing? Because we enjoy it. It's fun. Now, it does get competitive. Things are going to get a little heated. But, you know, why all the commotion? You know, a lot of people that, what's wrong with karting? What do you think's wrong with karting? Where does it start? Most of it.
I don't know, my mind's just gone blank.
Would you say that it starts because of the people that's running the track, or do you think it starts with the actual racers?
Racers.
Why?
Usually. Mostly just, like, not communicating with, like, the people running the track about, like, things they might want changing in, like, a mature way.
But what
they
do
just want to complain online.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
We used to call that, when I was trucking, we called that CB Rambos. They sit behind the CB and talk junk and do this and get a whole bunch of stuff started. You know, I don't want to tick nobody off. I'd love to see a racing community where everybody goes to the track to start off why did you start racing? You know, it's like me and her really enjoy it. We're spending time together. We're doing something both of us enjoy. Um, you know, why all the heartache? All you're doing is just, you know, ruining your day and then other people around you. You know, if Mr. Henry goes in there to a track and he offers them something, why be mad at that man? If you've got a problem with what tire the tracks run, now listen to me. If you have a tire problem with what the tracks run, that is up to the track. Mr. Henry and them is not going holding a gun to their head and, hey, you got to run this. He's just offering a better deal. I don't know. I won't dare. You won't dare. You know, you ain't got to like Mr. Henry. I'm not speaking up for him. I'm just speaking on the subject of what everybody's complaining about. Let's get back to it. If you like running Reapers, fine. If you like running maxxis, it's fine. They got their places. As far as with us, you know, let me see what I write down here. So maxxis tires.
No.
I went and looked online. You know, people talking about cost. maxxis dog leg sets, $190 for a dog leg, $245 for a full set. Reaper, $148 for a dog leg, $164. Now, here we go again. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes, but I'm a very blunt person. You can ask her. A lot of people go complain about they want to keep maxxis. Well, you've been running maxxis for years. Reaper's a new tire. It takes time to learn what that tire wants. Just like with us. We don't like running maxxis because of the cycling and all this stuff. I'm not putting the tire down. She just says she likes them better because of the same reason. She's not putting the tire down. But it takes a long time to learn this stuff. There's a lot of things that you have to learn about the Reaper you can't do with the maxxis and vice versa. And people are just impatient these days, and you know, then they want to go blame the first things out there. They want to go blame, oh, the tire's crap, oh, this, that. Why don't you study and learn it? You know, let's get all our aggression out and let's get back to why did you start racing? You know, these tracks, they go run the tire that they decide to go with. So if you have a problem, go to the root of the problem. Anytime you have a problem, you can't go. If you got a flat tire in a car, you can't replace a spark plug and expect to fix a flat tire. It's not going to happen. So you got a problem with what tire they're running? Fine. Get your group together that wants to run a different tire. Go talk to the track. And if they don't want to do it, then fine. Go somewhere else. Don't run the Reaper. We don't run maxxis because we don't like the load of the max. You have to keep tires and cycles and all of this stuff. I'm not trying to say that the Reaper is a lot less work. You got work to do at the track, but I've heard a couple people talking about, well, you got to scuff the Reaper. Well, if you don't scuff the maxxis, it ain't going to soak the prep up. It's going to have a glaze on it, just like any rubber you go run on the track. You know, but everybody's got their ways about doing things and, you know, not calling nobody wrong. You know, it's just a thing of trying to get harmony back to something you enjoy doing. You're supposed to go do this. You work every day of the week. Then you come out at night. You work on these carts. We got carts. She got 2 carts, tore slam all the way down to the chassis. Cleaning this, brushing this. You know, all of us has got hard work and labor. Then you go out there to do what? Go complain and why? Start going back. Why are you putting all this time and money into it? You ain't making no money racing. So why are you doing it? Prestige? Well, that's fine. If You want to be number one every weekend? Fine. But why are you doing it? Overall, you enjoy doing it. Let's get back to that. And let's try to work together on when we go to the track. You see somebody needs some help, offer them a little help. You ain't got to tell them everything you do. We've been through before and seen people go ask other people for help and they go shrub them off. How is that a fixing the problem in the karting community? We're going to do another video and it's kind of speaking on the tracks and stuff like that later on. But it's if you got a problem, go to the source. You're not going to fix it online. There's nothing wrong with having a discussion, but you're not going to fix it there. You have to go to the track that, hey, we're going to run Reaper, or hey, we're going to run maxxis, or we're going to run Vegas. If you don't like it, don't go. If you just don't like it, you can deal with it, fine. Try to look at what you got to work with and have the best time you can, and then help others out if you can. That's what it's all about. Everybody out there enjoying themselves. If everybody can start getting that attitude, you'll have less fighting and fussing and arguing. There's always going to be a fight every once in a while, aggressive sport. But, you also got to remember what are you teaching these kids out there? If you got the attitude the kids don't matter, well, how's the sport going to keep going? Try to remember all that too. But like I said, nothing to step on anybody's toes. I have heard people saying, oh, the maxxis don't cost that much more, they're not much more work. I'm sorry, I disagree, and you don't have to take a Reaper, not speaking up to Reaper, but you don't have to take a Reaper, roll them from the inside, have so many in a cycle, and then when it rains and you're rained out, then it screws your whole cycle up. Now you're on pins and needles. What am I going to do? I'm not saying the Reaper ain't got no work. We're still learning. It is a lot of work trying to figure any tire out. Doesn't matter if it's Reaper, Vega, or whatever. But, as far as, and I'm not speaking up to Reaper saying it's a better tire, but for us, that's why we do it. And, and plus that's what's available around here. Now, if everybody went to maxxis and we were going to run carts, then we just had to run maxxis. I don't know how much we could run because of the financial cost of it. We don't have time during the week to keep messing with tires and keep them in cycles and then hope it don't rain in the weekend and all this stuff. Again, not down in the maxxis, but that's just what you have to deal with them. But let's say if you have a problem, like I said, just go to your track. If you don't think what you say is going to change anything, then get your group together instead of your group online complaining back and forth. Go to the track. Say, hey, we would like to do this. And I'm pretty sure if the majority of them want that, fine. We just have one track. They went up there. We don't run there. I believe it was B&B. They went and had suggestions about what they were going to do.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And they just did it on Facebook, and they went through and done what the racers want, the majority of the racers. Well, that's what you have to do. But, let's try to start working as a community and instead of working against each other. That don't mean we can't be competitors. That's what it's all about. That's part of the fun of it, going out competing against each other, trying to see if you can outdo the other. That's just human nature. But, let's get back to the karting community thing. But hopefully we didn't bore nobody. You got any other input, Mrs. Talkative?
No.
All right, well, we thank you for your time. Hope it helps somebody out. Have a good evening.